In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Let's go.
Happy Thursday, my brother. How are you?
Let's go. Dude, you're feeling great, man. I just got back from an almost 2-week vacation, like
Yeah, you did.
7 hours ago. So, yeah,
Put us
man,
on
feeling
ice for
great.
a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Miss you, man.
Sitting around a campfire. It's been a minute, man. What's going on in the world of Frank?
Oh, man. Oh, George was commiserating or actually just acknowledging. He was like, yeah, man, you've been looking a little stressed lately. I'm like, I have? Are you really? I didn't did I say something? Or no. You didn't do anything. I'm like, I looked a little tight though. He's like, yeah, man, I see it. You're wearing it. I have amazing, and here's the thing. It's all amazing stuff. I have incredible, life-changing news. We're not quite there yet to announce, but everything we grind and work hard for, it's all coming to fruition. And I'll tell you, it's not all roses, man. It's not unicorns and rainbows. It's high stress, and it's a lot of deliberation and shreds your stomach to pieces. And on top of it, business must go on, and children and family stuff. So I'm being tested, in the best of ways. I've created this scenario, and this is all I've worked hard and dreamed for. But it is it's a burden, man. It's a lot, and it's obviously being acknowledged by others. But I'm championing it, and it's amazing. I can't wait to talk about it because there's a lot behind it. This is
Right.
next level, maybe 2-3 levels up type stuff, and let's touch on software too. That's continuing to evolve. We are way deep in the weeds, George and I, on this. So close. I think we are. We have two things at play. We're building two things at once: Gutter App, and then a
Gutter School.
sister vertical. Well, Gutter School is embedded in Gutter App, but we had Kyle here. We had Kyle here for 3 days. He did an amazing job. My boy came in and was just right to task. We crushed content for days, dude. He went on a tear and really put out. He put out, he put up, he showed up, and then we shot a lot together too. And a lot. I love, we're always in a group setting, right? Quite often.
Yep.
But he and I one-on-one had amazing synergy, and we created a ton of sales content for educational purposes.
That's right.
So we're going to get that teed up. I mean, man, I'm just grinding. I'm running on all cylinders. I've never worked harder in my life. And every year I say the same thing. It just continues to dial up.
That's right.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm good.
Right.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Let's jump into who we got today, because we're running a little late because I was having some technical difficulties. But I want to be respectful of his time because he's got a lot to say.
Oh yeah,
and I'm going to sneeze here in a second. We'll see. But I'm super excited. We reached out to this fella a few months ago, and I had first met him, I want to say it was 4 or 5 years ago at a GutterCon event.
That's right.
And was just really impressed with the fella's humility. Just he walks in a room and he's a head taller than everybody. His pecs are massive. He's just this huge jack dude, and he just commands attention. But you talk to him, and
Salt of the
he's
earth.
just the most humble dude in the world. And you watch what he's doing with his team and how he just exalts his team members. Like I'm just in love with the way that he leads his team down there in Gulf Shores. So
Awesome.
Without further ado, we've got my buddy Jimmy Fazekas joining us today. So,
What's up, brother?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me
on?
on, man. I'm looking forward to this today.
Long overdue.
Yeah. We've been
Man,
talking about having you on for forever, and then I finally asked you like a month ago, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm booked until this date." And so here we are. We got you finally. So you just got back from
gotcha.
Cabo.
Yeah, I went Cabo. Tonight I just got back from the Mexican restaurant with my wife and kids, and I was like, I got to get on this podcast. Leave me alone for about an hour. So, but yeah,
right.
Cabo was great.
I'm there.
Cabo, we brought the
I love it.
hurricane with me to Cabo, so they were like,
I'm
down
there.
here we get hurricanes, but I go to Cabo, I didn't expect a
Yeah,
hurricane,
you
but
got
we
to
got a
watch out
hurricane
for that
there.
hurricane season. Remember last year I got saddled in Cancun, but I'm an idiot. I did it in September,
Yeah.
but I knew what my risks were. But I'm in Cabo. We have a timeshare. We go every year. I'm there for the week after Thanksgiving. The day after Thanksgiving, I fly down there. I love that place, man. It's beautiful.
Nice.
I
Heather,
didn't know that's what I have. I have a timeshare. I didn't know you had one. We need to plan a time together and go
no
down
doubt.
there. We can
Where do you? Where do you?
all the houses better.
Where's the timeshare?
We get to pick. We have a couple different ones, so it's kind of where we get to go and try different buildings. So Los Arcos, I think, is the last one. This is the last time we stayed, and then we stayed at the Hard Rock. The Hard Rock's real Americanized. It was
Oh, yeah.
fun though.
Amazing. So we're at Grand Fiesta,
Yep.
Grand Fiesta Americana. I tell you, they have, I don't know, 10 pieces of real estate around Mexico. We jumped around and kind of seen them all, and we keep coming back to Cabo. That one is a very, very special resort hotel. It's carved into the side of a cliff overlooking the ocean, and it's so hilly that they have like a whole fleet of golf carts that the staff uses, and they jump patrons, guests on the carts, and they shuttle you up and down the cliffs to get. I mean, you can walk them, but a lot of times jumping on a cart is much more nimble. All inclusive, right on the ocean. Oh man, that place is special. I can't wait to get there.
That's cool.
It's beautiful. I enjoy it. You need to go, Colin.
I do.
Where's your invite?
I've never been to Mexico, so
Oh,
never been, but maybe someday.
Wow.
So,
Maybe someday soon.
so
That's
we,
right.
there's so many things to talk to you about, Jimmy. I mean, we share so much in common. You and I, the three of us, there's so many things. What I love about Jimmy, on the level of the entrepreneurial buzz and flavor, Jimmy is, I mean, Colin, you nailed it, but Jimmy is a consummate gentleman. He's always working on himself and his business. I love that about him. He's like the humble operator, the humble warrior.
Yep.
But he's always trying to self-improve, and he's been on stage a couple years ago, and man, this guy is an open book. He'll tell you about
Right.
the good, the bad, and the ugly, and he does it because he's a man of God, and because he knows he's on that road to greatness. So like when you know you're on the right track, it's cathartic to talk about the past and the bad stuff, because it's a reminder, it's a tap on your own shoulder that, man, we're doing the right things now. But Jimmy, you're such a good guy. You're so open. You know how important that is, and how moving and motivational it is to others to hear that, because you're like, I'm just a man too. I'm just a guy too. But Jimmy, these days too, he's back in his fitness. I'd love to talk on that for a little bit if we could. And he's always at shows. He knows our boy Tommy Mello. He's always at a self-improvement seminar. And I want to get into that. What drives Jimmy to do that? What shows does he like? What are some of the good stuff he's pulled away from these shows? I don't know, Kyle. What do you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, no, I actually want to dig into that because I see you going to all these different shows, all these different shop tours, meeting up with all these different guys. And I want to know, like, what is the biggest takeaway? I guess let's call it like the top 3 takeaways you've had from shows, shop tours, or going and visiting somebody
Top
else.
3. You talking about of all time?
Yeah, all time, man.
All time or just this year?
Ooh, all time.
My greatest visit was probably GutterCon, when I got to meet you and Tommy and Ben and Corey and all. That was probably my greatest. Getting to network with y'all, and never, I wouldn't have met y'all if it wasn't for GutterCon, the first GutterCon in Denver. So really, that's kind of where it started, and that's kind of I've always went to different conferences over the years. Like I met Tony Cobb years ago at a conference, but just getting to meet people where you want to be in your business and your life. Like I copy a lot of what Tommy does. I think Tommy's a genius at what he does, Tommy Mello.
Very much.
But I'll never be close to Tommy. But if I can copy some things and it can make us all better, that's what it's about. But I just enjoy networking with people. That's what I enjoy more is just getting to meet people and getting to, share stories and learn. Like I want to come see both of y'all one day. I haven't made it to either one of y'all's place and I want to come up there. But I think that's really where you learn is when you get to do the shop tours at other people's places. You really see what it's like at a different facility and you're like, hey, I need to implement that in my business and it's just going to make it stronger. Or we did that and it didn't work. And help the person you're with and say, let's change it up. So,
that's something that so many people take for granted. I've got a client. His name is Christian Ruff, and he operates. We'll do like $1.2 million this year. It's his second year in business. All right, just gutters, and he operates it out of like a 24 by 24 garage. That's it. That's his offices. He's got box trucks and whatnot, right? But I think he's got like an outside like shipping container for his materials. But his offices are 24 by 24 garage. That's it. And he's like, there's so much that people can learn from him doing that, right? Like, it doesn't matter if the business is smaller or bigger than you. You can learn something from them. That's it. So
that's right.
You think about the book 2 Second Lean. Oh, go for it, Jimmy.
Yeah. I was just about to say, getting to spend time with the different people doing that is just really gonna help you grow faster. So Go ahead on your 2 Second Lean. I want to hear this.
Yeah, you've read 2 Second Lean?
Yeah, I listen to. I don't read. I listen to audiobooks because I'm always driving. So
yep, same.
Yes.
Well, so I went through that book a few times. Then we read it as a company as well. It was awesome. Radically changed a lot of things inside of our business. But something that was really appealing to me as I was reading it was this guy had huge companies coming and visiting his. I mean, it grew over time. But at the time, they were only doing like 10 mil a year in this manufacturing. And he's like, oh, yeah, I had hundreds of millions of dollar size companies coming and seeing what we were doing, checking out our offices and learning from them. And it just inspired me that there's like one of my favorite things to do is scour the Facebook pages and see what I can learn from, I don't want to say the little guys derogatory, but the guys who are like smaller, right? That's it. Newer in business because I've been at this for a decade. Jimmy, you've been at this how many years?
Wow. Since I was 13 and then Bluewater's 8 years old. My company now is 8 years old. So I'm pretty much 35 plus years.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it is just like second nature to us. And we've forgotten more than most people know, right? And so sometimes going back and seeing what these newer guys are doing, it's like, oh man, I forgot about that. If we added that back in our business, we might get 6 more reviews a week, or we might get whatever that is. And there's always something we can learn from literally everybody in the industry. So I like your shop.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So
good.
Y'all can come down anytime.
I would love to.
Yeah, ditto.
Just like not when it snows in Gulf Shores. I don't want to come down then. I get enough of that crap up here.
That's crazy. We had that snowstorm this year, and we had 9 inches of snow, and I think that was a historic moment here. And
you'd snow like that, right?
It was crazy. My dogs were like, "What is this stuff?" And I took a million pictures because I won't see that again in my lifetime. I'm sure.
That's right.
So,
yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wild. That's like a normal day for us up here, but man, seeing that in Florida, that was just, it blew my mind, man. It's crazy. So
talk about let's not. I'm not done with the show thing because Jimmy he's got such a zest for it. Where were you recently? With the last two you were at? You had two in a row or something?
Uh, yeah, I had Tommy's Home Service Freedom in
Tommy
Vegas.
Mello.
Went to that one. And
How was that? I was like
yeah,
this
that was
close to
first of
going.
He puts out
Man, it was
a
amazing.
big deal, right?
Yeah, he had amazing speakers there, but just networking with the people there. I mean, there was HVAC guys there. There was all different kinds of people there. It wasn't just, of course, it wasn't gutter industry. I think I might have been the only gutter guy there. Maybe I don't know, but there was about
I mean, we're
1,500
still in the
people there.
Stone
It
Age.
was amazing.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know we are. So, but then I went to Service Titan Pantheon, which was a mind blower. There was about 5,000 people there.
Wow.
That was so amazing. I was really blown away.
5,000
The
people at
technology,
Service Titans? Wow.
yeah, the
Software
technology
companies like that have like 100,000 plus users. It's unbelievable. How long have you been on service time?
the press 2.5 years, 3 years now. The president of Service Titan was talking, and he said there's 147 companies that do $1 million a day or more on Service Titan.
$1 million
And I was like, that
a
just
day? What?
a day.
That
I
is
know, that's what I thought.
bananas.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is absolute.
HVAC.
Wow.
HVAC companies doing that? That's
Yeah.
incredible.
I'm sure it's HVAC. Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's a
So
whole
it's just
different
good.
game.
Hold on.
That's so insane.
A little bit. So it's throwing me off. We technical tonight. We had you guys didn't know it, or maybe you did, but I lost audio for a while. Or,
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
I saw
really?
you lost everything for a minute, but
yeah, man, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So
It's the intro now. Yeah.
before we got on, Jimmy and I were kind of just warming up and catching up on things. And he was talking about, how he's down by about 20%. And I know this year, and man, it's an off year. It's a national epidemic. You guys want to talk on that a little bit and kind of speculate on what?
I
And
think he said leads are down 20% right now.
same difference.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be up on revenue. Probably finish out 15% higher than last year on revenue. Our average ticket's raising. Yeah, so we've really been working on that. So our leads are down, but our average ticket's raising. So we're right at $7,000 with our average ticket right now.
Well, good work.
You're at
You're having
7?
KPIs.
$7,000 in gutters is your average ticket?
No. That's my company wide average ticket.
All right.
Gutters about 30. Gutters 3,400, Colin.
Okay, good.
Still healthy.
Gutters 3,400.
Windows
Right,
definitely drives that up, right?
The windows and doors drive that way up there. Screen enclosures, the pool and eyes, they're about 30,000 on average. So that drives it up too.
Colin, he was telling me how he's getting into lighting, Christmas lights, and he's running that this season. And I find that so interesting. I did the homework a couple years ago, and I just kind of have failure to launch, but I might change my tune on that. Well, my failure to launch is that window is so small, arguably. And then as a New England guy, I have that in conjunction with gutter cleanings, right? Because we're racing to get these cleanings done. But if I was a smart man and I have 10,000 clients, I would take my gutter cleaning clients, hard sell them on lighting, and do both at the same time. Clean the gutters while we're out there, string the lights, and get the thing done. My fear is that I'm racing against the clock. I'm racing against the weather. I'm racing against the season, the holidays. It's like this crazy intense couple months to get all this stuff done. Now, I mean, and I'm playing devil's advocate. I want to have a very educated conversation on this. But, Jimmy, you don't really have the weather. But you do have the pressure of the holidays, right? You got to get that done, and you don't want to start too soon. So it's still a tight window because you can't start too soon. And then, but you got to get it done before the holidays so they can enjoy them. What's the strategy? Are you using gutter cleaning crews? Are you what are the installers doing it? How do you put this together?
So normally our time slowest time of the year is going to be November, December, and January for our gutter guys. It does get cold down here, so we'll get to 30 degrees in the wintertime. So it
Yeah.
gets pretty cold. But we'll normally use the gutter guy, or we're going to use the gutter guys this year because they're used to climbing ladders and they know how to do it. So this will be our first year. So I don't have it figured out totally yet, but I think we can get everything we need to get accomplished this year between probably the second week in November and probably the first week of December or the end of November, and just work super hard, balls to the wall, to make sure we get it all done in that time frame.
Yeah.
I
And
think it's probably like the best second service to add for gutter companies, and
what?
vice versa. That
'Cause of
Christmas light
ladders?
people, it's the you're doing the same thing. Like
Yep.
there's not much difference in the two.
Right.
Your ladders are the same thing. You're clipping your lights up versus
Yeah. You
like
shuffle in the ladder like you would
yeah,
for
it's literally the same thing. It's not roofing, it's not windows, it's not siding. Like those are all very different. I mean, yeah, you're up high or whatever, but lights in gutters, it's the same thing, man. All right, gutters, we're doing 3-4 jobs a day. All
did
right, like
did they
lights, we're doing 2 jobs.
did they run away with the material costs yet? Like, did they jack the prices up since COVID on that, or is it like relatively inexpensive and you got great margins on it?
The lights are going to be a good 50 to 60% growth GP on it, so it's going to be pretty good. Um, I think some of the stuff comes from overseas, so I think the prices are going to continue to go up. Is what I'm saying. We ordered a whole roll of, or a couple whole rolls of the magnetic lights, and they were pretty pricey. And I think they came from Taiwan, so they're up there pretty
Yeah,
pricey. I'm surprised.
I actually have some of those. I've got like 300 feet of magnetic lights left. I've got them for my commercial building, and I put them up one year, and then I completely forgot about them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's he's saying he's attacking commercial. He's really going after commercial work first and foremost, not the
Makes sense.
residential.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
yeah. Like the Ford dealerships, the Chick-fil-A's, the YMCA, the Chamber of Commerce buildings, in the first year you want to cut them a little bit because more people are going to see you do that. And if you start putting the videos out on Facebook of these businesses and all the employees there, then you might move it faster, especially coming into the next year. That was my idea. I might miss the boat on this. It might not work like I want, but we'll see.
Try, right? You're giving it the old college try. I give you a lot of credit for that, man. And who knows? It might be a huge splash. I'll follow you. I'm going to watch you do this. If this works out, I'm in, man. I do, I stick my nose in and out of these groups because I did my research a few years ago. I was looking at permanent lighting too, because I thought maybe there's a solid market on that. And then people like their college sports and their pro teams, and they could get the lights that they want for whatever's going on that night, with the programming on the remote. But, I don't know. It's like, I'm sticking my nose on these groups. I saw that there was a pivot and change in the quality of the products, the lights, the wiring, a lot of upheaval with sources on that. I don't know if, these guys maybe try to become suppliers and then they're sourcing it from Taiwan or China. It shows up in a container and it's crap, or it's faulty, or I'd love to know, like, who's the resource on this, right? Who's the guiding light to get you the good stuff? Who do you go to for that?
Yeah, the outdoor lighting, the permanent lighting is. I've called a couple companies, and most of them won't even call you back because we're not moving to that right now. We're working on reoccurring revenue because I think if we can concentrate on reoccurring revenue, it's going to keep our marketing down, and it's going to really help us keep those sticky customers, for either gutter or screen or windows or doors or whatever we're doing. So that's why and we've got a 10,000 customer base in our email marketing too. So it's not going to be a lot of money spent on Christmas lights, but the permanent lighting, I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold on that. Yeah.
See, I think permanent lighting is the next big, like epoxy floors. All right, epoxy floors blew up here 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, same here.
and everybody was doing it. And I think permanent house lighting or low voltage landscape lighting, right, is the future. I think that in the next 3 years, we're going to see that become the the next business everybody's getting into. You need a few hand tools
Right.
and you're in, right?
Yeah.
It's like Christmas lights. All right, Christmas lights blew up at the same time that epoxy floors did, and Christmas lights just went, and now they're 5 years ago you couldn't find a Christmas light installer. Now there's 27 yard signs on every street corner for Christmas light installers,
You
right?
think it's too saturated?
I don't know that it's too
Residential?
saturated. I think that if you do business the right way, you can still win.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to compete on price, they're not a chance. There's always somebody willing to do it for less. I know in this conversation, none of us are competing on price. So if we all run business the right way, and therefore we could win jumping into Christmas lights or jumping into permanent lighting. Jimmy, I'm excited to see what happens with it. I could do
Me
it here.
too.
My market is wide open. I mean, I have two companies that do it, and they're chucking a truck. Like one's a roofer and one does window washing. All right, and both of them are tiny little businesses, and I could jump in and just like squash them like that. I'm not going to. I've got enough services. We do roofing, gutters, and windows. I don't need any more right now. I could scale those and be at 15 mil. I'm just dragging feet. It takes time, right? So
I know it takes time. So what do you think about the permanent lighting? You think you have to have you think they're going to call the electrician to want to do permanent lighting with a license, or you think they're going to let just anybody do the permanent lighting?
right now they're letting everybody do it. They're letting
Well, I think if
anybody
you
do
have
it.
a dealer, if you're a dealer, right, if you have some sort of warranty or a designation or connection to a manufacturer, and you're listed on their website, they'll hire you. I don't think they're going to scrutinize per se on an electrical license. Um,
Well, I mean, let's ask this. I know you live in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I'm assuming you have to pull permits for every roof and whatnot. I know you don't do roofing, but the roofers have to pull
Every
permits.
window job, every window job, we got to pull permit, and every screen enclosure, back
Right.
patio enclosure, sunroom, we got to pull a permit. Yes.
Right. So that's in your area because you're hurricane ridden, right? Up here, roofers, window guys, like even gutter guys, they technically need a maintenance and alteration license. No permits are ever pulled for those services,
Hmm.
ever.
Wow.
Texas,
Wow.
there's no like
it's nothing.
licenses or
Yeah.
insurance at all, right? Like it's
I think it's
crazy.
the Wild West, bro.
Right. But people are willing to pay somebody 15, 20, 30, $40,000 for a roof who is a fly by night dude. All right. They're willing to pay that if they're less than the actual companies. So if people are willing
That's right.
to bet on their roof like that, they're willing to bet on their $5,000, $10,000 electrical job that's outside, that's not going to start a fire inside their house. Right.
Right.
That's how I view it. Yeah, I don't know. In like the actual electricians that are dealing with real 120 volt stuff, not 12 volt stuff. They
Yeah.
laugh at this landscape lighting, like the low voltage, right? Those guys are a bunch of wimps, right? Like I literally I'm being courted to purchase a large $3 million a year electrical company in town here, and they laugh at it. They laugh at the low voltage stuff. No way,
Sure.
that's just the electrician's mindset. So
Right.
it's like roofers laughing at gutter guys.
Well, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, I would want a system that has some sort of a warranty. So if something breaks or goes down, are you going to
Right.
come fix that? Like, how does that work on the service side? I also want something that's safe. It's grounded. It's not going to cause a fire. I don't have to worry about it getting wet. I don't have to worry about it shorting out the rest of my house or what have you. I also work on pretty gigantic houses, high value homes. A lot of them are, generators and complexities where, they're charging cars in the garage and all of this crazy stuff. So I mean, I think that's different territories, different regions, different needs. But I mean, man, it all starts with like NFL, right? NBA, like sports, college, the Central America, west side of the U.S., like wild over college football, right? So like all of that stuff really drives, I think, these lighting systems. Everybody's rah 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 for their team, and for me to be able to press a button and celebrate a holiday in 1 minute, and then tomorrow celebrate my college, football team or whatever, it's kind of cool. It is. It's kind of a
Right.
neat thing. And then some of these systems, and this is why I was doing the homework, that soffit, setup where it really adds some
Hidden.
curb appeal. It like
Right.
trims the house out with like just white soft light if you want, and it really adds a lot of visual beauty to the house. Forget about teams and moving around and jumping around and colors. It's just
Right.
accent lighting, right? I mean,
I've
you can
got
get a lot done with that thing.
That's right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want to talk over Jimmy because he's our guest, but
Yes.
I'm really excited about this because I've got a friend that has been for I think it's like 5 or 6 years developing his own permanent lighting to blow the doors off a jellyfish.
Oh,
And
cool.
I keep telling him like, dude, you're already there. Just let's take it to market. Let's take it to market. He's not doing it, but he's like, nah, it's not perfect yet. It's called Prism Lights or Prism Lighting out of Salt Lake. So if you want to look into that, Jimmy, go for it. But
Jellyfish was one of
Okay.
the two that I looked at, and
yeah, jellyfish it's a big
Yeah.
name, right? But they're ugly. Like if
They
you
are.
look at the install,
They're not hidden
it's
well.
like they look like garbage, man, when they're mounted up. And like I was up in I was in Gatlinburg, and we went up to Anakista. If any of you have ever been there, but it's like a city up on top of a mountain. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
But all these cool little like log cabins built up there, and they've all got jellyfish lighting. And I just walked up. I was like, "This." I took a picture of it, and I sent it to my buddy. I said, "What the heck is this?" And he goes, "That's
Clunky.
jellyfish." And I said,
Yeah.
"That looks like ass."
So they put everything in those. They hide them in the different colored channels, right? And the
Right?
channels are highly visible in of themselves.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a nice smooth soffit. I mean, maybe you have
Yep.
beadboard or something, but you don't want to see some ugly
Yep.
channel running right across it.
Yep.
I don't. You could build them in, but that's a whole nother project, right? A whole
Right.
ton of carpentry and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
So
Anyway.
yeah, Jimmy. So you're doing Christmas lights. Put them up, take them down. Right? You're not doing the permanent light stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet.
Not yet. Y'all might talk me into it one day.
There you go. I mean, I'm not doing it, but yeah. Like I said, I got enough going on with roofing, gutters, and windows. I can 10x this thing. So we're gonna do that.
Nice.
You got your blinders on, Colin.
Right now I do. A year ago I didn't. A year ago I had 14 businesses, and now I'm down to 3.
Well,
And,
you've been putting a ton of interesting content out lately. Let's see, Colin.
Yeah.
You're talking about your pitfalls and your mistakes,
Right.
and you're being open and raw and honest yourself there. What are you doing with that? Let's talk about that for a second. Pivot for a second.
Like, what's the direction of it?
Jimmy
Oh,
vein. Yeah, I mean, you're educating. It's kind of like cautionary tales, right?
that's it, man. That's it. I see so many people making the same mistakes that I did, and if they don't have to do it because I tell them about it, cool, right? If I can help one person, right, not make all those stupid mistakes I did, and it's my first 8 years in business. It was everything I touched turned to gold. I mean, everything. It didn't matter if it was a house I bought that I flipped. I moved into it and I made $100,000 over 2 years, or
Right.
whatever. I mean, if I touched it, it worked. If it was a truck I bought, I made a few $1,000s on it. Like everything made me money. It was crazy.
Well, we're
And
it's uncharted territory, boys. All of us, right? Jimmy
That's
as
right.
well. Jimmy, you were trying to do the franchise model for a hot minute, right?
Yeah.
right.
Yep. And then I put that on hold and put my blinders on and concentrate on Bluewater itself. And I'm trying to grow that and get my SOPs and everything perfect. And then I might look back into it down the road.
Yeah.
So I've changed my direction too.
Yeah, there's so many levels, right? There's so many plays to be had. One is, organic growth and continuing to blow up what you have right here under your thumb. And then the scale play, right? And the scale play is so goddamn tricky. It really is, because you're getting into realms that you've never operated in before. It is so sticky. You need, like Jimmy just said, if you don't have the SOPs down, how are you going to go train somebody in another location to do it your way? You couldn't possibly. And then if you dive in and try to save that, or you spend your time there, your business flops because you're not cranking out.
Well, here's the crazy thing too, Frank. You said another location. You try and train your SOPs in another location. Well, that's a whole different thing. Like when I did it, I launched in 3 separate states, 3 different rules, 3 different like climates, 3 different, one's or 2 are in mountains, one's on the Gulf Coast, right? People buy for different reasons. Our sales training is a little bit different there. Like everything was different. Install tactics, like everything was different. And it was hard, right? So when I went from having my crap figured out to, all right, you know what? I'm going to entrust these other guys, and I'm going to teach them my ways and blah, blah. Like, no, like at the end of the day, I'm not there to hold them accountable. I can watch what they're doing, kind of, with KPIs, but I'm not recording. They're not wearing body cams, and I'm sitting there watching their sales process. Like, they can tell me all day, yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah, these people just don't want to buy. And I'm like, what? And I did. I went to 2 out of the 3 and showed up and did the thing. And I was like, it works for me. Why is it not working? You guys are skipping steps. That's all there is to it. Right. Ironically, those 2 are the ones that stole a bunch of money from me, but that's besides the point. Right. But
we know who you are. We know who you are.
But it's besides the point. So when I did that, it's way different going in different states. I mean, things you don't think about. Insurance. What your insurance looks like in different states. Licensing. What license are and aren't required. And I mean, everything, taxes, unemployment, like everything is so much different. So when I launched 3 in the course of 2 months, all right, which
that was a big mistake.
It's insane, right? 3, and that was 3 out of 8 business ventures I launched in a 6-month time frame, right? So, like it is what it is. I know I got comments. I got people that hey man, love to comment on all my stuff, but it's like, you know what? Yeah, guess what? I launched 8 of them, and 2 of them are still alive and kicking butt and taking names.
Nice job.
And that's 2 more businesses than you have. So shut your mouth, right?
I mean, those of us that do understand it is not easy. It is just not. But you guys were saying earlier how long you've been doing this, and you guys threw out your numbers, and it didn't come to 22 years on my side. I remember all the glass ceilings along the way, all of them. I remember, couldn't get past $350,000, $400,000, like that glass ceiling there. I remember it. I was like, And then I got to like 800 grand, and I'm like, man, I can't touch $1 million. I just can't do it. What is going on with this? I'm touching all the KPIs. We're dialing up everything. I can't figure it out. And then all of a sudden I jumped to like 1.5. And then I'm like, is 2 million attainable? I don't even know. Right. And it's just, it's hardship until the success happens, right? It's break your ass. It's never going to happen. Torture, you just taking a strap across your back. And then all of a sudden the door unlocks and it just slowly swings open. They're like, come on in. You've earned it. You've figured out the riddle. It's just being able to endure the abuse until you have mastered it. You've figured it all out. You've taken all the beatings you could take. And that's just it. And Kyle, I don't hate on you because you took the risk. You potentially, and you'll be back at it, but you could potentially have changed how many more lives in that motion, in that action, how
Sure.
many families could have been, and you did it with the right intentions, and then
Sure.
you get your chops, you get back to on the horse, and then you get 8, you get 6 out of 8 next time.
That's it. That's right. I made some big mistakes, and I go into those in my content, but I made some big mistakes that I wouldn't make again.
Yeah.
So I learned. I didn't fail. I did not
Learning.
fail. Like it cost me
Yeah, it's
money.
definitely a learning lesson.
That's right.
It takes a
That's right.
gigantic set of balls to do it, and
You know what? I wish though. I wish I would have had
the
that gigantic brain like Jimmy to just be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this franchise
Let me
thing
tell
right
you
now.
something. The guys with the biggest brains tend to suffer from inactivity. They just don't. They failure to launch because they're too smart. They're risk adverse. They de-risk the whole thing, which means taking the keys out of the ignition and throwing them out the window, going, "We're not driving this car because man, I might hit a little pothole down the street."
Yep.
So choose your own adventure.
What happens older? When you get older, you start getting more to like, I don't want to take that kind of risk. I'll be 50 in January, and I'm like, this franchise thing could put my business under too, as long with the franchise. So I'm gonna just wait a little while, build up some more reserves, and to see if that's an option in a couple of years. And if it's not, then that's just something I just chased at the wrong time.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
What were the big factors for you to be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this right now? Because, like, let's be
here in
honest,
Tom,
everybody
here,
listening has thought about, oh, I want another location here, another location here. Everybody thinks about it. Everybody wants X amount of trucks and X amount of locations. With Gutter Launch, everybody I talk to, yep, I want to have 5 trucks on this location, then I want to have this location doing 5 trucks, and everybody has the same goals. All right, they want multiple locations with XYZ trucks, right? So feed the audience. What stood out to you that helped you say like, nah, not right now?
My biggest thing was I felt like if we don't have our company dialed in perfect, where I think that I can just turn the lever at any time and it's going to grow. What makes me think that if I sold to somebody in Georgia or Mississippi or Texas, that they can do that with their own hard-earned money. They put $250K in trying to get a franchise started, and then they fail, and then I would feel terrible that that's their own money, and the family failed, and they're having to do something else. So I don't want to see anybody fail. It's not about the money. I was more doing it because I thought it'd be good to get. There's a lot of people. Gutter business is probably one of the best businesses you can be in. My dad and granddad started in the 70s, and it's so easy, but it gets to a point where you get so far, you got to know more about business than the gutters. Like I don't install gutters. I haven't installed gutters in a couple of years, 5-7 years now, but you got to know how to run a business, and that's what's really most important. But most of these people that are going to buy franchises are only going to be installers, and they're not going to be business owners, even though you give them all the SOPs and all that. I just felt like most everybody would probably fail, and I just didn't want that on my shoulders right now, and if we can guarantee a 20% net or 25% net, and they can pay their franchise fee and they can still come out with 15, they're good, but I can't get to 25% net. So if I can't get there on my whole company wide, if I can't get there, I don't need to go talk about franchise to people and sell a franchise if I can't build a system.
That's right. Real quick, hey fellas, I'm sorry. I got kind of an emergency. I got to step away for like 5 minutes. I'll be back. I'm so sorry.
No worries, dude. Do your thing. We're going to talk fitness. We're going to talk
fitness. There you go. Hey, Colin don't want to talk fitness, does he?
He gets all, jam. I've been doing good. I'm trying. And, and that's just it, right? I mean, let's talk about fitness. It's just about the repetition. It's about showing up and stringing a bunch of days together. And that's the hardest part. Everybody's got the great intentions, but stringing those days together becomes exceedingly difficult. How are you doing that? Because you're obviously, you've made some strides. It's very visibly obvious.
So you're what, 47, Frank?
No,
How old are you?
Just turned 49 2 weeks ago.
Oh God, you 49. I thought, okay. So when I was 47, my main goal was, I said, the time I'm 50, I want to be in the best shape of my life. You know,
Yes.
I've broke 22 bones in my body. I used to race motocross. I've had 2 back surgeries. I saw your surgeries on your knees
Yeah.
and all that was on Facebook, and that was pretty
You know,
gruesome that you
yeah.
had to go through. But I don't like hurting, you know, and I think the more I exercise and take care of myself and my fitness, it makes me feel better mentally and physically as well. So it's actually easier once you get used to doing it and getting the discipline and getting the where you get used to getting up every day and just getting it done and
Yeah.
just making it part of your life, a habit, really, basically. It's not that hard now for me.
Yeah. I agree. You get to a point where if you do it so much, do it so regularly that when you don't do it, you feel terrible, right? I mean, that even mentally, because it messes with you. You miss a day, you're like, man, I missed that day. I didn't work out today. I was supposed to happen, and
Yeah.
it does such a boogie woogie on your brain that you're right back at it the next day. Like you can never that blip really costs you, and you're trying to. But if you kind of are teeter tottering through it, and you're on, you're off, you're on, you're off, you never have that passion, that fire to stay on one side of it on the fitness side, and then you slink off. But I think you nailed it. I think a lot of guys, in your 20s and 30s, let's say your 30s, in your early 40s, you kind of you're in this like homeostasis period where you're not over the hill yet, you're not all beat up and feeling terrible, but you got away from your fitness, so you're not fit anymore, you're kind of just coasting. And then I will say, in my 40s, and it was because I had all of these injuries and lingering issues that I started taking care of. But I hit my 40s, and by 45, I was like, man, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
This is not the way I want to be. This is not me. I don't own this. I don't recognize this person. This is not somebody I want to align. I look in the mirror. This is not the person I want to align myself with. My brain is telling me that's not me. And so just the feeling good part, right? To get away from all that pain is such a dream. It's just the best. What are you doing? Let's talk
Man, it's
about your
like,
routine.
Um, well, I was just gonna say before, like after I get done working out, it's like you had drank a 6 pack of beer. You know, you just feel so good and relaxed, and then you're ready to take the day on. And any stress that happens at business, it kind of just rolls off your shoulder
Yeah.
a whole lot easier than
The hardest part of the
than
day
if
is
you didn't
done.
have that extra. Yep,
100%.
it's
I
done.
definitely have a little
But what
sweat.
I'm doing
Go ahead.
fitness wise, Frank, I started walking because my back's been bad for years. I used to race motocross for 25 years and I had the back surgeries. So I started walking first and just day to day walking 4 miles every day, 4.5 miles,
Awesome.
not running, and that kind of got my mindset going. I listened to podcasts while I walked. I listened to Tommy Mello's podcasts and all the other people. And then I got to back exercising and lifting some weights. I started out pretty lightweight lifting, like real, just for endurance and 20 reps. And then now I'm actually working. My body fat's down low enough where I can work on trying to push a little bit heavier weight and try to go as not many reps and put a little more protein. So I'm right at 16% body fat.
Good for
I'm
you.
trying to get to 12 before I turn 50. 12% is my goal. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna
We're
try. Just
chasing
3
it.
more months.
I love it. We're chasing the same goals. I am down right around where you are right now. I haven't been this lean in forever. How are you testing your body fat?
Yeah.
Using calipers, or you got a scale that gives you a readout? What are you using?
So I heard Tommy Mello a couple years ago talk about the DEXA scan. So I actually go get a DEXA scan every 3 months, and
Oh,
that's
neat.
it's a whole scan. You lay down, and it tells you how much muscle you got in your legs, your arms,
I'm gonna write
your
that down.
back, everything.
Where do you go for that? Just
DEXA scan.
local clinic that has the machine?
This is going to be a health clinic. It's called DEXA, DEXA scan.
DEXA scan.
So they'll probably have one up in your area. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you need to go do that. That's super accurate. You can't go wrong with it. And then it tracks if you gain muscle or you lost. Just because you lose 10 pounds, you could be losing 10 pounds of muscle.
Oh yeah.
So you got to know if you're building muscle and losing fat. That's the secret.
So
So that's what it does.
I'm
Helps
like
me
I'm
understand.
I'm a part robot, at this point. I have my wife got me this Hume scale, Hume, and it does this electrical current through your feet, and you have to hold this handle that's tethered by a cord. It does this whole body reading, right? And so the first time I got on it, it gave my weight, and then it gave my body fat percentage, and then it gave my skeletal density. And it said that my skeletal density was like 90% more dense than the average person and I'm like, what the hell? Well, I have titanium in both knees. I have titanium in a hip.
Oh yeah.
So I can't use the scale. The only thing I could look at on the scale is my body weight. That's like the only thing that I could like get perspective on.
Oh,
But my abs are coming out,
yeah.
right? So I know I'm well under 20%. I'm probably right around 16. I was a wrestler in high school, so where you need to be. I'd love to be at 12. I'd love to be at 10, even just for like a hot minute, a month or two, just to like
Yeah.
say I did, and so we're chasing the same thing. But
You know what?
you only have 2 months, right? You're 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. But you know what I've learned? I don't think we want to roll down at 10 or 12%
It's
at
not
our
a fun
age.
place to
I
be.
think we want to be I think we want to be about 15. So I'm only going down to 12 if I can get down there.
Yeah.
At my birthday, and then I'm gonna stay around 15 because that's healthy enough. I don't need abs. I'm not 16.
Well,
I don't
it's
want
just,
abs. I'm
I
not
want to
trying
get
to
to it.
go out.
Yeah, I'm back. I got it. I can do it. It's more of that like personal challenge type of thing. Like, can I
I
endure
don't
it?
know if
And I'll tell
this is how I know if my that's getting better. My veins start
the
popping
veins
out.
on the
You
forearm
can't.
come out. That's what's going on with me. They're all starting to pop.
Yeah,
So my trainer,
yeah,
who who's at the same gym training people, I know how to work out, so I don't need him. He'll set my program, but if I train with him once or twice a month, that's more than we even planned on originally. So I see him though like 4 or 5 days a week because he's in there training girls, early in the morning. This guy is doing a bodybuilding show in 3 weeks. The guy's huge. He's jacked and he's super super cut right now, and he's miserable. I'm not gonna lie. He's
yeah,
it's screwing with his head. He's got to be around 7% body fat, but he's like, he's walking 2 hours a day. He's getting his weights in. He's not, he's cutting the carbs way off. And this is hilarious. I saw him yesterday morning, and it was a high goodbye. I was like trying to shoot through the gym. It takes me like 2 hours to get everything done. So I'm like I'm in my zone. I got my headphones. It's 5 a.m. Nobody's really chipper anyway, but he was really like, you could
yep.
see it. I said, you're not feeling good. He's like, no, like he looked like he was sucking wind. He sent me a message yesterday afternoon. Hey man, good to see you in the gym. I'm sorry I wasn't too talkative. LOL. Like he's just like sucking wind. So yeah, I mean, to be down to that body fat, even at 10%, it's a life sacrifice. And man, you look great, right? Like get
Yeah,
the photos quick before I fluff up again. But it is brutal mentally, especially for an older guy.
yeah. I I think your brain needs the carbs too to help make decisions and be focused. So you start
I get that brain
getting down
fog.
10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be good in your business. So I think I need to stay
Point.
around 15. I think that's going to be my sweet spot.
I like your
Yeah,
mentality, man. It's heavy on the
yeah.
common sense, right? I mean, I mean, that's the biggest ingredient in any of this stuff.
I don't have book smarts, but I got common sense smarts. I didn't go to college.
It's
So
overrated. So what is this? Is this a longevity thing
yeah,
for you? This is a lifestyle for you now, right? It's just trying
you
to
know,
sustain this and keep
um,
moving.
my dad passed away last year, and he never took care of himself. Um, he ate what he wanted. He never worked out, and I guess it kind of made me a little bit nervous. And I just want to live a long time, Frank. My wife's a little younger than me, and I just don't
Sure.
want to leave her here on the earth. And so I was like, I need to stay. I want to see my grandkids. I want to be able to play with my grandkids when they get here. I don't have any yet, But I mean, so I'm gonna keep staying after it as long as I can, and unless something major happens to me,
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
work out probably till I die. Honestly,
Let me
you
ask
know.
you something because I had this
So
conversation recently with somebody. Do you find since you, and I mean, you never were like grossly out of shape. I don't remember you being heavy or anything, but but you're noticeably svelte, right? You definitely have chiseled it up. You look great. Do you find that since you did that, ha, has business changed for you for the better? Are your interpersonal
oh,
relationships different? Are your sales engagements different? Like, are you being taken differently, because of it?
I think the biggest thing when you exercise and you take care of your body and your mind is your confidence. I think if you got strong confidence in business, you're just going to be better at business. Anything you do, if you got good confidence in it, you don't have to be cocky. Cocky's different than being
Agree.
confident. Confident means you understand what you're supposed to be doing, and you know your business, and you know your people in your business, your team. You understand them. But I'm 100% better in business because I'm exercising. I could not imagine staying in business and trying to grow the business like we're growing and just not taking care of myself. I would be a miserable person, I honestly believe.
I agree. I think being an entrepreneur and running a business or multiple businesses is hard enough, right? It's such a drag, and if you're unhealthy, if you're making poor food choices, if you're not getting enough rest, if you're drinking too much, or all the above, man, that's just like it's like putting bad gas in a race car, right? It doesn't ever really work
Oh,
out so
yeah.
well. It's not a good idea. And again, we
No.
can't play with it as you get older. There's less and less levity and the ability to cheat and get away with it. Like I have no time for games anymore. It's got to be the right way because I'll blow up. I'll become a monster.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. And when I'm in the gym, I see some of these guys in the gym. I go to the YMCA, so it's going to be a lot of the older folks that work out. There's not a lot of younger folks. So there's guys 85 years old working out in there. And when I see them working out, this one guy had a bag on, and he's still working it. And
Wow.
that right there gave me so much determination. I'm like, if he can do it, and I'm
Colostomy
about
bag?
to be 50, yeah,
Good
still working out,
Lord.
still bench pressing 125 pounds or 135 with one on.
Nice.
85 years old. I,
Gangster.
I would be like, hey, I'm probably giving up at 85 with that, but he was wide open, so
Wow.
that made me think I don't need to complain about anything.
It's funny you say YMCA. I grew up in a YMCA as far as training, working out. It's where I started lifting weights for the first time as a kid. My old man brought us in there. That was his spot. And then, we got older, moved out, moved on. He stayed there at the YMCA. My father, you remember Steve Young, the NFL quarterback, 49er?
San Francisco 49.
Yeah, it's Steve Young.
Yep.
He's a superstar. His father, so Steve Young grew up in Greenwich, the town I live in, and his father was he's actually a prominent businessman. They're Mormons, BYU, but his
Yeah.
father was just a by the book gangster, just like old man style, like get up, work a hard day. He probably had his eggs the same exact way every day. Went to the gym every day,
Yeah.
like the same time I do this 5 a.m., 5:30 stuff. This guy was like late 80s in the gym every morning. My father said, dude, this guy, and they were buddies. My father would, the chit chat and talk sports and business. And this guy was in the gym every day, 5, 6 days a week, into his late 80s at 5 a.m. And I think he did like something crazy, like 500 sit ups was part of his routine. And just you
Jeez.
get that going, man. Your body doesn't want that to stop, man. Just greasing the wheels. Crazy stuff. I just want to
Yeah.
I want to feel good and look good as an older guy. That's my thing now. It's like I killed myself for so many years. Man, and I drank my balls off too. I liked a good time when I was younger.
Yep.
We did it all, and
Yeah.
I put a beating on myself. And then I was very, very physically active in the company, carrying all those ladders, up and down ladders and trucks, and humping bundles of shingles and throwing generators around. You're beating everything up. Played rugby till I was 32 at a almost semi-professional, Division 1A men's, very competitive rugby.
Oh wow,
And
that's
it adds
crazy.
up.
Yeah, that's worse than motor.
So now I
Yeah,
got to
that's
do it
worse
the
than
other way.
motocross
Now I
for
just want
sure.
to be like, pressing oranges at 10 a.m. and not have the pressure of being in the office. I just want to just kind of take it easy a little bit, right? Have the good life for once. God bless, right?
Yep, that's right. Take it easy. Get
What's
after it. So
what's I think we lost Colin. He was having some an issue. I don't think he's coming back. What's next for you in business?
probably not.
What's the next big I wouldn't say hurdle, but like what's the big jump off for you? What's the milestone that you're chasing now?
Uh, we are definitely trying to grow. My main goal is to grow at about 20% a year. And bottom line, I don't really care about the top line. Your net profit is all that matters. Anybody can say you can have a $10 million revenue with no profit, or you can have a $4 million business with 20% net, and the $4 million business can be worth more. You know, so my goal is to figure out how to stay a consistent 20% net and continue to grow the bottom line at a 20 to 30% growth rate every year. And then, we see where we're at in a couple of years. I enjoy business. I enjoy growing our team. We've got a great team of people at Bluewater. I'm learning to become a better leader. I really appreciate my team. I mean, we do a lot of things together. We just, you got to, people don't leave the job, they leave the leader. So if they quit the leader, that means, you're not doing what you need to make sure your people eat first. Our people are more important than our customers. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. If you don't take care of your people, you're not going to have the customers. So, we're a W-2 model. We don't have any subcontractors. Everybody is employed at Bluewater. So
Right.
that's a lot harder to scale. It's harder to grow. It costs more money, with the taxes and the workers' comp and everything. But that's what we're doing. We're probably going to start doing some acquisitions soon, smaller guys around here, and trying to roll them in to
Yeah.
us so we can just continue to grow. I don't know how that's going to go yet, Frank. I mean, I'm still trying to learn from Tommy. He's got this new book fixing to come out, Pay them what they're worth. There's going to be an equity incentive program, and I'm trying to figure out how to dial that in at Bluewater as well.
So I'm in the midst of this myself, to be honest. I have a big play going on here, a lot of private equity interest, a lot of big players that come from corporate backgrounds with a lot of M&A experience. So, essentially taking their funding, me staying in the deal, rolling back some of the buyout back in as equity in the
Yeah.
play, and continue
Yep.
to stay in the CEO role. But it's going to be some organic growth, and then also inorganic with acquisitions. Same idea. And so I'm interested in this. I'm deep, deep, deep into this right now, right? So
Oh yeah.
herein lies the question, right? It's like, can we? First of all, are guys like you and I interesting to fellas that hit that glass ceiling that I was talking about a little while ago, that are stuck, that can't get through that on their own, or they just don't have the patience, the time, or the bandwidth to figure out how to do it? Maybe it's the quality of leads or the marketing that's stumping them, or they can't stand out from the crowd, or they just don't know how to hire. They can't get off the ladder. I think there's a fit. Those are to me, that's one of two targeted audiences where we say, look, you hit that ceiling. Do you want to figure it out on your own and keep stumbling like I did? It took me, however long it took me to get through each of the ceilings I was talking about earlier. Or do you want to
Yep.
put on the jersey, take a nice payday? We'll buy you out. We'll give you a nice payday. Hey, go put a deposit down on the house. Do what you need to do with that money, and take a salary and come join our team and hold it down wherever you are. hold it down in that territory. You're going to now play from our playbook. You're going to benefit from our marketing, our branding. You're going to be my cohort. You're going to work right alongside of me. You're going to run that division. We're going to champion you, and we're going to show you how to make more money than you're able to make for yourself right now. That is what we are stealthily designing, and I have prospective buyers that have this crazy worldly experience. It's been done before. Ned's Home is doing it, right? They did it.
Yep. Yep. Nez is doing
And I
it.
just,
I've been studying that for a while too, Frank. You're spot on. I've been studying it for the last 2 years. When I heard Tommy start talking about it when he sold, I started studying pretty hardcore, and they're coming to our area. All the P&E companies are going to be coming to us, and I mean, they've already been coming to me too, but there's not going to be any. I'm afraid there's going to be less and less of the little guys. I think it's going to be more of the larger guys going to be around in the next 10 to 20 years.
That's right.
Because I mean, there's always going to be new people starting, and just to get to that next level is just. I'm kind of worried for the United States and the small business guy, because that's the way the United States was designed, for the small business guy to get out there and make a living. But
Right.
I think it's going to be a lot harder for the small guy in 10 to 20
Well,
years. And I hope I'm not stepping on toes.
No, and I think that's an interesting perspective. I think, to me, and I've been doing this a very long time, I think it's very interesting to see how consumers educate themselves and their outlook on the market, right? So a lot of these consumers, they could spot the big brand from 10,000 miles away, or the franchise, or the the PE driven conglomerate. They know who it is and what they're dealing with. And you know what? I'll be honest, a lot of these private equity funded, VC backed projects, if you will, are not really well run. Everything falls apart after their money is injected. So, everything balances itself out. I think if they could run it cleanly and efficiently, and the consumer has a nice customer service experience and continues to continue to pay into those recurring services, then good on that business owner, however large or small they are, whatever conglomerate it is, they've mastered it. But the truth is, and it doesn't matter what service, a lot of these guys screw up and everything comes falling apart, and then it all starts all over again, right? Because all the guys that they rolled up and were trying to hold now fall out of the deal because the ownership can't make it work, and these guys go back to work for themselves if they so choose. I mean, is there any right answer? I think for those that may become acquired, this might be a really good deal for them. Again, they hit ceilings. They don't know how to break through on their own. It's very stressful to be a business owner. You have a lot of responsibility, a lot of sleepless nights. God knows if somebody could come along and take that stress out of the equation, all the formulas, all the SOPs, all the marketing, all the stuff that kills the entrepreneur, that doesn't allow him to work a 9-hour day or something, even a 10-hour day. He's working 14 hours and he's like, why can't I not work a 14-hour day? I just want to work a normal day. That is something that you could buy into, or take a payday, get paid to join the squad, and maybe that's more enjoyable.
Yep.
Join a winning team that's going to scale and show you how to make more money, because you just couldn't really get through that glass ceiling on your own. Different strokes for different folks.
And
right answers.
Yeah, in our area, there's quite a few guys that come up to me and they ask me a lot about business stuff and all, and they have different lines of business. It could be pressure washing, roofing, pool cleaning, whatever. And a lot of them are interested in just about giving it up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunity down there. So I guess with me being a business owner and wanting to acquire, there's a lot of opportunity to look and grow and pull some of those businesses. But then again, chasing shiny objects, you got to be careful and trying to make something else work. And then you don't put a lot of emphasis in your own company. So
You're right.
I'm on that fence right now with a lot of things. I'm studying a lot of stuff. So I wish I had the crystal ball in front of me.
No, I mean, right? If any of us did, or a time machine, right? What about Tommy's got great stuff. Give me the cheat code on Tommy's content. What should I be watching? Because I haven't touched his stuff in a minute. It's time for me to go back. Where should I start? Just keep ripping through podcasts, or
Man, I'm crazy on the podcast that he's done. I go back. I've listened to. He's gonna think I'm probably psycho too, but I've listened to his podcast from the very beginning because if you go back and listen to it and then you listen to it again, those times he started talking at the beginning, you're in that battle then, and then you get out of it and you go to another battle because you're growing. Your
yeah,
revenue and
sure.
profits growing, your operations is growing to different levels. So then you go back and you're further along where he was further along, and you're like, man, that's exactly what I'm going through right now. And then he talks about marketing, talks about LSA coming aboard when the LSA first started and how to do all that. And then he brings the right people in. So long story short, Frank, I would just start from the beginning. And you're probably, your size company, you're probably not going to get much from the beginning, but I've listened to at least 3 times all his podcasts. So I
Wow,
could
amazing.
probably work for him and know more about what most of the other people don't. There, he's probably saying, "Man, you're crazy for listening."
No,
But that's how I
are you
gain
kidding
knowledge. I
me?
have to
If more
listen to
people were
it
like
over
you,
and over.
why is he putting it out there? He's putting it out there because he wants someone like you to benefit from it. He's got a bleeding heart, and it probably is a great marketing tool for him too, right? If you're a garage door guy, you're like, well, he's the king, and yeah, maybe I will succumb to that and fold myself into that deal. But man, I'm thirsty for some Tommy Mello stuff. Let's go. And he's got
Man,
the formula, huh?
and yeah, just start maybe in 24, the beginning of 24, and I think that might fit some of your business
Okay.
and my business. The beginning of 24, and just start back. And I mean, I love it. The but bad thing is, Frank, is I chase too many. Sometimes I listen to too many different people, so I've kind of toned it down recently in the last 6 months. That I'm really trying to just concentrate on just a couple because you can hear somebody at this podcast say something and somebody say this podcast, and you just can't there's just too much information out there on the internet
No
now.
doubt.
It just gets wild.
No doubt.
It gets
I try
wild.
to narrow it down. I mean, obviously, we're in a real tight niche. George, did we lose it? We got a.
Uh,
Yeah, we're in a real tight niche. There's just not a lot of operators, not a lot of players. But Tommy is close enough. Garage doors. It's service. Service is service. Um, it's close enough where, man, you could draw so many parallels and so many lessons from him, and take that and flip it, and that's what this is about, right? It's finding a wide variety of players that have great information, melding it together, and coming up with something that works for you just the same. What do you? I mean,
yeah.
this is exciting. I like that we share that vision, and growth is growth. I think if you're doing things right, which we're both on that trajectory, right? I'm doing. EBITDA. I mean, we're at like over 30% of gross revenue. We're crushing. We really have it dialed in, but there's really
Nah,
there's a lot of room for growth still, and then you look and you go, well, what about how are we going to do this? Are we going to do it inorganically, or what are we leaving on the table organically? There's so much room to grow. It's so exciting to play and operate like that, right? To master the mastery of execution on the business. That I don't know, maybe I have another 10 years, another 10 hard years of running, and then I want to just chill out.
you gonna roll. You gonna take a second bite of the apple. Is that kind of your plan? And
Yeah.
keep doing that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe one more time, and then it's I'm rolling back some equity to do that, and let's go, and I'm vetting like they're vetting me. Went to an LOI, and man, I had 30 interested parties that signed an NDA and narrowed it down to 5 buyers, and you got to vet them as much as they're vetting you. Like the quality of
It's
earnings.
like a partnership.
Oh, I mean, I'm so aggressive in my approach to life and to business. If I had a partner, and he didn't have the same drive and aggression I did, and I bought him out because it became a drag for me. So if I do this again, and this guy owns me at this point, you better have that same fire, boy. You got to have the same vision that I have, because it's not going to be a fun go for me if you don't. So yeah, this is crazy exciting times, but when we get on that gas, it's going to be go time, and these guys are coming with
Yeah,
pockets, and we're going to do this right.
That's exciting, man. I love hearing that. I have you read Adam Coffey's books,
No,
the Private Equity Playbook, and man, those are some good books. They're awesome.
Coffey.
You need to look them up. Yes, Adam Coffey, Private Equity Playbook, and then he's got another one that's amazing. But it's some of the best. It's the best book you can get for the PE stuff. So you definitely need to get it.
I love it. I'm
gonna see
the characters that come out of the woodwork.
I went through. I'm seeing if I can find it. That I've listened to that book twice, the Private Equity Playbook, and then he's got another one that's almost as good. I can't find it right now. I got too many books, Frank.
There's never too many. I have a huge Audible library myself, but I got a lot of credits sitting here waiting to be used.
Oh, I use mine too fast. That's my problem. I got to slow it down. I'm like, I got to
give me more. I see it right here. Private Equity Playbook.
Empire Builder, Frank. That's the other one. Get those two, and you can't go wrong. Trust me. After you read those, you'll call me, and you'll be like, "Man, that's the greatest."
Empire Builder. There it is.
He dials it down.
Very cool.
He dials it down for you.
What's his background? What was he doing?
Oh, he's done it multiple times. He had one company he sold 5 times. So he's in the M&A whole side of it, like big time, for like 30 years. So he actually helped Tommy. I think I think Tommy probably learned a lot from him before he got kicked off with his. I don't know that for a fact. I don't want to say that because Tommy might hear this and it's like, man, that's not true. So, but Tommy did have him on his podcast, so that's how I heard about him.
Very cool.
So
I tell you what, man, I had such a crash course over the last 4 or 5 months navigating this. It's a whole different world, right? Lingo, language, math. There's so many elements to this that these guys live in. It's their realm. Yeah, I'm dealing with all these guys are Harvard MBAs, and I mean, absolute superstars, the smartest of smart.
Yeah,
and
adjusted EBITDA. Talk about the adjusted EBITDA, and then
we've been kicking in the P&L and the EBITDA spreadsheet on that for months. I've been in this realm, and I'm like, what? My father's like, man, look at this education you've just gotten. It's like you went to a mini MBA. I'm like, I know, man, this is crazy. I can't wait to speak on this stuff publicly. We're almost to that point, and so cool. This will give a big lift to so many guys out there that are, just a little troubled, a little lost in their journey. Right? There's flavors for everybody. So we're gonna lay it down heavy.
Yeah, if it wasn't for me hiring a fractional CFO 2.5 years ago, I think that helped speed up, because they've got a dashboard for me. So EBITDA's dialed in. They take everything off the line that doesn't need, because you know what EBITDA is.
Sure.
But so if it wasn't for the fractional CFOs, I probably wouldn't be where I am today on my financial knowledge, so they really helped tone it in for me. So and we've got a plan. Even if we never sell or don't plan to sell, we got an enterprise value we're trying to get to, and you got to kind of build your business to that, just see where you're at.
That's right. So, man, there's a lot to be had out there, and you're on the right track. I mean, sounds like you're speaking all the right stuff. So you guys, you got good people there. I just got approached on fractional CFO stuff, and I'm like, I don't need it. I'm in the midst of what I'm in the midst of, and that's going to be somebody else's headache. So.
Yeah, you're past that right now. Yeah, you're past that right now. That's for sure. So, business is fun, man.
It is. It is. If you could either get lost in the sauce and get jammed up and frustrated, same mistakes day in and day out, kicking the truck door and slamming the materials around because you can't figure out how to get around it. Or, yeah, you could get into some crazy stuff as long as you're open minded and not scared of it. But yeah, I mean, you could take this into all kinds of places. Are you going to GutterCon this year?
I am. I actually talked to Bren. When did he call me? What's today? Today's Thursday. I think I talked to him Monday or Tuesday.
How was
First time I've talked to him after finding out. He sounds like he's doing okay. He's excited about
Yes, he is.
GutterCon.
I'm
I didn't
excited
know.
for him.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to have it. Honestly, I said I didn't know if you were going to even do it this year. He goes, "Yeah, we're going to do it." So he asked me to speak in a breakout room.
Wonderful.
And I told him I would. It's going to be. He said there's only going to be 4 speakers, I believe he's going to try to do, but then the rest of it's going to be breakout sessions.
Yes.
So I'm sure he might talk to you if you're going. Are you planning on going this year?
I am. Yeah, 100%. We really are trying to support him as much
Next
as we can.
year. Yeah, January. So I'm sure he'll probably ask you and some of the other guys to talk. So hopefully we don't talk at the same time, so we can all get in there and get to hear each other.
I can't wait to see you, man.
But,
hang out, have a couple beers, and enjoy ourselves. We work hard, right? You got to unwind and lay back once in a while.
Yes, you do, and it's good to get to network and spend time with people in the same industry that understands each other. It's good to go to HVAC conferences and all that, but these are different people and they're having different issues than what we have,
Right.
So
yeah, there's something about hanging out with the other gutter guys. It's just, you have the same problems. You could tell the same jokes. Everybody has a good hard laugh. You know, I love it. So cool.
Yeah, it's in my blood. Gutter's in my blood for life. I'm thankful that my dad and granddad began the business years ago, or there's no telling what I'd be doing if they wouldn't have done that. I don't know. I'd probably be working at a stereo shop or something because that's what I loved when I was young. So who knows?
Sure. Well, God bless, man. I love the generational stuff. It's funny. I mean, I don't know where I'll be in 10 years or 20, but my 5-year-old son's like, I want to do that. I want to work with you. Like he's already grabbing at the coattails. Like I want a part of this. I'm like, man, I love this. I'm so happy that he's
5.
He's 5. Yeah. And he's just shot out of a cannon. He's ready to go. Can I go to work? Can I go to work? I miss the guys at work. I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll get to work. Let's go. So hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Teach them up right, huh?
That's it, man. Humble, work hard. Don't be afraid of a hard day's work, but, work with your hands, have the ability to, it's all of these little things as a man, skill sets you have to have. And I think it's important, but I like that he's into my stuff. Some kids are like, Dad, you're a nerd, or, I don't like what you're into. I'm blessed to have a kid that's still interested, and it's going to change, but for now he's interested in what Dad's doing,
Yeah, man. The blue collar industry is not dead. So these young folks growing up and getting it, and I think the blue collar industries is the gold mine in the next 20 years with the AI taking over everything. I think being able to use your hands, you can really make a good living.
Yeah, we cannot be replicated, right? So many things cannot be. I saw some machine shingling. They put something down with an arm on a roof, and it was picking up shingle from the stack and placing it and nailing it. But I mean, man, that's scary, weird stuff. But so much of what we do, you're not going to have a machine to hang gutter. I don't see that happening. Not in our lifetime.
I don't see it either. So I'm glad we picked this, and I didn't pick something that's pretty much. I mean, even like I kind of feel like the CPAs are going to have some issues in the next 10 years. Some of the lawyers, I think AI is going to take over lawyers, so I think they're going to be hurting in the next 10 years.
I have enough dealings going in and out with the busy business we have. And I'm always, talking to attorneys, and they're like, yeah, no, and they say it, and they don't realize they're giving the farm away when they're telling them, oh no, there's ChatGPT for law, and we're using it, and oh yeah, we use it all the time. I'm like, there you go. Like, at what point are you guys not needed anymore? You just plug it in and it spits it out. Like, this is scary, guys. So you're right. I mean, the world is going to, in our lifetime, this is the one thing in our lifetime, right? This is going to change within 5 years, 7 years. We're
Yeah.
not talking a long time. 10 years, forget it. 10 years is going to be a whole new landscape, folks. Everybody's got to really, if you want to be an investor, a business person, or a forecaster of your own fate or your fortunes, think about this. This is the whole landscape as we know it in business is going to change in the next 7 to 10 years. And that means probably some diabolical market crashes because I don't like, what are people going to do for a living? I don't know. How are people going to bring bread home? It's going to get wild out here.
Man, it is. I'm kind of worried about it. There's not going to be, a middle class. You're either going to be rich or you're probably going to be. I mean, because all these jobs are getting taken, these people are not going to be able to go anywhere to work, and I don't
Well,
know. I hope
might
it's
be able
not
to
going to be a
perform
lot
all
of homeless.
these essential services that can only be done by human hands. But if you don't have a client base with money in their pockets to afford it, that's a problem for us, So I'm going to try to
Yeah,
stay in Greenwich,
yeah,
Connecticut as long as I can because they seem to afford things here. Have a nice, solid.
yeah. They got the money there, man. That's where the money's at. I heard. I'm gonna have to come up there and
I
see
will
you one
shine
day
their
and check out
shoes
all
if
that
I
money.
need. I will shine their shoes. I will do whatever I need to do to keep them happy, to be their liege, whatever it takes. I'll take the knee. Right? Bend the knee. Bend
You
the knee.
got to. You got to bend that knee, Frank. That's
Yeah,
it.
buddy.
You
I have
got
no
it,
problems with
buddy.
that. All right, brother. We had
You
this was
got
a
it.
good one, man. This was a great episode. We're at like the hour and a half mark. I think we cranked it. We're going to put some
Yep.
shorts out as we always do, and we're going to put a long form version of this sucker up and tag you. And I really appreciate you joining us, and I'd love to have you back.
Yeah, Frank. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you, man, and good job on everything that's going on. I know you're kicking butt. Continue that
Ditto.
success, and I look forward to seeing you at the GutterCon this
Yes,
year.
sir. We should definitely exchange notes offline too. Like reach out anytime. I'll do the same with you. But I like what we're talking about here. I'm sure we got a lot to pontificate on.
Yeah, I'll give you a buzz
Sounds
one
good.
day. We'll chat it up.
Sounds good. Keep hitting
All
them
right,
weights,
brother.
boy.
Thanks again.
All right, brother. See ya.
Yes,